Good morning, students. Welcome to Information Communication Technology 8. Our topic for this morning is all about practice occupational safety and health. Definitions of terms. Chemical hazard. Any hazard that results from an accidental caused by toxic chemical. Desktop computer is a personal computer or PC in a form of intended for stationary use. Next is electric shock, characterized by pain and muscular spasms caused by an electric current. Next is the elimination, the process of removing the hazard from the workplace. Next is ergonomics, the science of designing the workplace environment to fit the user. Next is hazard, a situation that has the potential to harm the health and safety of the people. Hazard control, the development of systems to prevent accidents or injuries. Health, the general condition of personal aspects. And housekeeping is the systematic process of making a home neat and clean and in order. Risk, a potential condition that a chosen action or activity causes. Next is risk management, the process of analyzing exposure to risk and managing it. Safety, the state of being safe. Standards, something accepted as a basis of comparison. And next is 3. Structure, an algorithm for placing and locating files in an organized database. And also these are the acronyms. So first is OSH, which means Occupational Safety and Health. And next is the PPE, also means for Personal Protective Equipment. Hazard identification, risk assessment, and risk control. Occupational safety and health are planned system of working to prevent illness and injury where you work by recognizing and identifying hazard and risks. Health and safety procedure is the responsibility of all persons in the computer and technology industries. You must identify the hazard where you are working and decide how dangerous they are. Eliminate the hazard or modify the risk that it presents. This module is intended to give you some guidelines and advice on common areas of health and safety problems in the computer industry and to help you gain a general awareness of your responsibilities as user and technician in a safe environment. So there are 3 steps used to manage health and safety at work. First is spot the hazard. So hazard identification. Next is access to the risk or risk assessment. And the last one is make the changes, so risk control. At work, you can use these three. Think safe to help prevent accidents. Using the think safe steps, so number one is the spot the hazard. So the key point is a hazard is anything that could hurt you and or someone else. Examples of workplace hazards include frayed electrical cords could result in electrical shock, boxes stacked precariously, they fall on someone. Noisy machinery could result in damage to your hearing. During work experience, you must remain alert to anything that may be dangerous. If you see, hear, or smell anything odd, take note. If you think it could be a hazard, tell someone. Assess the risk. Key points. So, assessing the risk means working out how likely it is the hazard will harm someone and how serious the harm could be. So, whenever you spot a hazard, assess the risk by asking yourself 2 questions. Number 1, how likely is that the hazard could harm me or someone else? And number 2, how badly could I or someone else be harmed? Always tell someone, your employer, your supervisor, or your health and safety representative about hazard you can't fix yourself, especially if the hazard could cause harm to anyone. So for example, ask your supervisor for instructions and training before using an equipment. Number 2. Ask for help moving or lifting heavy objects. Number 3. Tell your supervisor if you think a work practice could be dangerous. So if you are not sure of the safest way to do something during work experience, always ask your experience supervisor. Number 3, make the changes. So the key point is it is your employer's responsibility to fix hazards. Sometimes you may be able to fix simple hazard yourself as long as you don't put yourself or other at risk. For example, you can pick up things from the floor and put them away to eliminate a trip hazard. Common hazard encountered by computer technicians and users. A hazard is a situation in the workplace that has the potential to harm the health and safety of people or damage plant and equipment. The situation could involve a task, chemical or equipment use. Hazard management is a continuous process that can be used to improve the health and safety of all workplaces. So physical hazards. One of the most common physical hazards involving computer technicians is cables running across the floor. If someone trips, falls, and hurts himself because of a cable you run across the floor, someone, you, your employer, or your customer has a serious legal negligence problem. If you need to be temporarily run a cable across the floor, place a danger sign like those wet floors sign used by cleaning services. For cables that are temporary but will need to run across the floor for a longer period of time, use gaffer's tape. Gaffer's tape is a heavy tape with strong adhesive to stick to the floor. It comes in a wide range of colors from an intrusive matte black to hazard warning red. Although it has a strong adhesive, it can be removed easily and cleanly. For long-term cable routing, there is a wide variety of cable organizing devices like cable ties, cable wraps, and cable raceways, which can be used to run cable safely along the wall or ceiling. Other common physical hazards include leaving tools on the top of ladder and placing electronic equipment in the precarious position or on support that is not sturdy enough or not designed or holding electronic equipment. So mechanical hazard. When working on electronic equipment, ask yourself, is there any way this equipment could hurt me? You might stick your hand in a printer and suddenly the paper feed arm moves, feeding not only paper to the printer but a piece of your finger too. You might move your hand past as a computer chassis and lose a chunk of flesh because it is razor sharp. When working on electronic equipment, always be alert to any possibility of being hurt by moving parts, hot components, or sharp edges. Chemical hazard. There is a wide array of chemical use with electronic equipment. There are display cleaning chemicals, keyboard cleaning chemicals, compressed gas, dirt, and dust removers, and many cleaning solvents. Some of these chemicals can be harmful if accidentally swallowed, get on bare skin, or get in eyes. Before using any chemical for electronic equipment, always read the warning and instructions on the label. Also be very careful when dealing with inkjet printer cartridge or laser printer toner cartridge. Ink and toner can stain skin, clothing, and carpet. Electric shock hazard. Inside computers and electronic equipment, there is a range of voltages from 3.3 volts to 225 volts. Most of these are harmless, but at the power supply, you'll find line voltage, which is a lethal of 220 volts rather. Okay, most of the time while working inside computers and electronic equipment, you'll want them unplugged from the wall socket. If you need to work on an equipment while it is still plugged in or powered up, remove all jewelry and wristwatches. If you work If you must work inside a line power distribution box, wear an electrician rubbers, insulated gloves, and safety glasses. You might think you don't need the safety devices because you are going to be extra careful, but one little slip could cause a flaming explosion that could take off your hand, embed shrapnel in your eyes, or conduct electricity through your heart where it takes only 10 milliamps or 0.01 to kill a human. So CRT monitor high voltage hazard. CRT monitors are becoming less common nowadays, but should you run into one, it is best not to open it up. Instead, outsource any CRT repair job to a qualified CRT repair service. A CRT monitor has a high voltage anode inside it which can carry a charge up to 25,000 volts, and it can still be holding a high charge days after the power is removed. If you must open a CRT monitor case for some reason, be sure to study the proper way to discharge a CRT before you proceed. It involves using a jumper wire and a flat blade screwdriver to shorten the anode to the ground. After being discharged, even though with no power connection, the anode voltage will actually build up again, so you have to repeatedly discharge it. Applying 5S on your computer. You work with documents, presentation, graphics, and other files all day, and chances are you have a lot of them. And that means it takes time to find the documents you need. Even if it is just a couple of minutes here and a couple of minutes there, it all adds up. But there is a better way to stop the file clutter. By managing your files more effectively, digital files are no different than paper files. And if you don't have a good method of organization, things get lost. Whether you save your files in your computer's hard drive or a shared network location, this course will help you save them and headaches of searching for files. The purpose of this instruction is to help you apply 5S concept to the hard drive of your computer, resulting in an increase to your daily productivity, better organization of your computer, and further compliance with the Office 5S initiative. We will cover the following topics as they relate to your hard drive. 5S provides the foundation of all quality improvement programs. Thus, it is often said that the road to productivity starts with 5S, and through 5S, you can create a highly productive company with a highly productive people. 5S is not only a matter of good housekeeping. It is a process to create more productive people and more productive companies through motivation. Education and the practice of 5S, it involves the creation of a strong corporate culture filled with the spirit of high productivity. So these are the 5S. So Seiri, Seiton, Seiso, Shiketsu, and Shitsuke. So first is the Seiri. Sorting, putting things in order, remove, discard what is not needed so that there are fewer hazards and less clutter to interfere with work. Only keep what is there, or what is important. Number two is Satan, orderliness, proper arrangement to place things in such a way that they can be easily reached whenever they are needed. There must be a place for everything, and everything must be in its place. Say so. Cleanliness. Keep workplace and things clean and polished, no trash or dirt in the workplace. And Seiketsu, standardized purity. Maintain cleanliness after cleaning consistently perpetual. Such cleaning in part of everyone's work. And number five, Shiketsu. Sustaining discipline, commitment, maintain standard, and keep the facility in safe and efficient order day after day, year after year. Example, I am a loss. So it is not unusual for you to see a computer desktop on your classmate desk that looks something like this. So take a look with the picture. You may have seen even worse. Keeping your desktop so cluttered with this creates many problems, such as it is difficult you to find what you are looking for. Files, folders, and application shortcuts are grouped together without any logical separation. You don't know immediately where to place new files, downloaded files, attachment, temporary working documents. When the desktop gets too full, you waste time cleaning temporarily downloaded files. And if you are only backing up my documents, items on the desktop may be skipped. If you are migrating to a different computer or keeping multiple computers synchronized, the desktop folder is often missed. What can you say about the desktop illustrated? How can you make sure that the above problems will not be encountered considering setting up your file is the tree structure format? Okay, a tree structure is an algorithm for placing and locating files in an organized database. So the algorithm finds data by repeatedly making choices at decision points called nodes. A node can have as few as two branches, also called children, or as many several dozen. In a tree, records are stopped in locations called leaves. The name derives from the fact that record always exists. At the end points, there is nothing beyond them. So the folder names do not necessarily tell the users what is inside them, making it difficult for yourself and others to find. Also, the folders that are inside don't necessarily belong there or fit with the other files. Sort it is the best thing that you can do. Tired of icon clutter on your desktop? Sure, you can organize your desktop shortcuts, program, folders, and the likely by dragging and dropping, but eventually some game or other screen resolution changing up will undo all your hard work. Make your desktop cleaner. Your desktop is the first thing you saw when you start your computer. This should be the most organized part of your electronic workspace. But what if your desktop looks like this? What will be the impressive of your class or the impression of your classmates? The desktop offers many features that make using your computer easier. You can start your programs or application, copy and move files from one place to another, and drag and drop files and program where you want them on the computer or even onto the program's icon to open a file. Manage your own desktop. Numerous studies have shown that your environment affects your productivity, and that even something as simple as color can influence your memory or creativity. Since most of our work now is done in the digital realm, it stands to reason that your desktop's environment can play an important role in your productivity. Your computer desktop is a starting point of your entire computing experience. But like anything else, if you let it get ugly and messy, your productivity will take a dive. Here's how to design and create an attractive desktop with built-in organization to keep your workspace nice, clean, and productive with minimal effort. How to manage your desktop. Number one, create 5 folders in My Documents called Inbox. Put unprocessed items that don't have place yet in here. This may be items like software installers if downloaded, files sent to your from colleagues, and random text clippings. Action items. Put items requiring an action that takes more than 2 minutes in here. This may be items such as forms to fill out, large application to install and set up, and files to upload. On hold, put items you aren't yet ready to do or complete in here. This may be articles you're thinking of reading, sketches for potential projects, and information about classes you're thinking about taking. Current projects, put files related to active project in here. This folder contains files you're currently working on as well as reference files for a project. Each project gets its own unique folder. Archive, put completed projects, generally reference items, and anything else you might want to look again in here. Okay, so and that ends our lesson for this morning. So thank you for listening and God bless.